Here's some food for thought. You should delete your social media profiles once a year or so. If this suggestion shocks or angers you, pause for a moment and sit with this feeling. This is a great opportunity to reflect on your relationship with social media. An annual deletion is not an argument to step away permanently. In fact, you might not even quit. You might make a new profile with the same handle the very same day. The goal is to reset your humors and to remind yourself why you joined your platform of choice, in quotes, in the first place. My rule of thumb is that if it takes less than 5 minutes to set up a new account and make your first post, you should reset your profile once it reaches a certain saturation point. This saturation point varies from platform to platform. Often, it doesn't have a quantified metric. Often, it will just be a feeling. A curl of your upper lip in disgust every time your fingers automatically type the URL, knowing that you'll be spending the next 45 minutes of your life doom scrolling. An anxiety every time your phone dings. An urge to get your heart rate up by arguing with strangers. Once you've reached this saturation point, I have bad news for you. It will never desaturate. There is no pressure valve except the one, the reset button. This argument has many faces. Let's go over the most grotesque masks, starting with dead weight, the status quo. Status quo 1, middle management. One of the most pernicious dangers of the saturation point is an adherence to the status quo, which, upon a millisecond of reflection, reveals itself to be a sunk cost. Recently, I got into it with some forum mods about some really stupid thing. As a rule of thumb, forum mods are glorified hallway monitors from middle school, or more known as ass kissers. The hallway monitor, if you'll remember, was a student who thought of themselves as being different or better than the other students, solely by their ability to tattle really well to the adults. Never once did they hold actual power, and they were permanently stuck as the henchmen of those who did wield power. As such, these people were generally disliked by their peers. The internet is filled with mods. Twitch mods, Discord mods, forum mods, people who, by virtue of being terminally online in a particular community, derive the conclusion that indeed they have a right to say big words, make big threats, and because you are in their domain, quite literally in the www domain, they feel like they have power. And this is without even getting paid. Wow. People who are, in the words of Eric Dietrich, quote, "Yesterday we had owners and grunts. Today we have owners, grunts, and a new thing. Managers. Only owners have any legal power as far as the company is concerned, which makes managers and grunts the same thing. The main difference is that at the pleasure of the owners with the real power, managers can tell the grunts what to do," end quote. And this is from Developer Hegemony. To reset your presence on communities is a reminder of your relation to the community itself. Don't become a mod, and if you do, maybe just don't act like one. Status quo 2, verification. The second element of the status quo is your importance within the community itself, as bestowed by a badge from the platform that signifies your influence within the community. Yep, it's influencer time. Imagine right after posting this video, I release an app called Gluppy Flippy. On Gluppy Flippy, you can post images of the dumbest thing you can imagine. Let's say pictures of ironing boards in motels. This excites you because, as it so happens, you travel a lot for work. You find yourself posting a lot and liking other people's posts about your ironing boards. Maybe even leaving the odd review about how many coffee stains are on ironing boards in Tulsa versus those in Boise. It's fun because the community is small, and you and your friends finally have a place to discuss all of your clothing care needs and how to remove wrinkles with motel ironing boards. Unfortunately, by some horrific moment of tulip mania, Gluppy Flippy becomes popular, like really fucking popular. Millions of users flood into Gluppy Flippy, and everyone is talking about making their own profiles and claiming their own handles as their fiefdom. They quickly set off to reshape the meta by posting those handheld steamers as well, and they begin to optimize what they can post and at what time to chase the almighty algorithm. By combination of your luck, timing, and skill, a lot of these new people find their way to your profile and begin liking your pictures, perhaps thousands or tens of thousands. As the platform owner, I built the thing after all, I see this in my server logs and decide to put a little golden iron icon next to your name. This, for me, adds to the legitimacy of my service since it looks like from the outside that I have users who are celebrity creators. It also legitimizes my reasoning to serve more ads on your page because you are no longer a user. No, you are a brand, and brands need ads. To add this golden iron icon took me like maybe 10 seconds to create an SVG in Photoshop, maybe. And yet, all of a sudden, all of the other Gluppy Flipper users want to be you. Ex-lovers are reaching out, motels are trying to sign million-dollar deals with you. Hell, you might even land a spot on your local TV news. Over time, you begin to notice that this persistent attention has its downsides too. People DM you constantly about how you got the golden iron. They beg you to follow their Gluppy Flippy profile, to like their post about them surfing the iron board down the stairs in their hotel room in Maui, or at the very least to collab with them. You wake up in cold sweats to the voices in your head whispering, "Come on, bro, collab." This hypothetical sounds ridiculous, right? But go back to the beginning of this and replace Gluppy Flippy with TikTok, Instagram Reels, or Threads, or X. And think about the blue check marks, or on LinkedIn, the brand voice, or on Twitter, a blue check mark again, or on YouTube, a gray check mark, or any social media where the platform can bestow a span next to your name and let you play God. To reset your presence is to free yourself from platform signifiers, to reset your peace of mind. The goal is to say what you want to say, not say what will make your audience stick around for your next video about the finer points of ironing pleated pants. Friends, this one, along with craft, which we will be talking about below, is likely the only one that actually matters. Friendships are integral to a healthy life, and you can make really good friends online. And in fact, I've written about this extensively in issue number 34, which is a really good read, in my opinion. It can be annoying for your friends to have to refollow you once a year, but I found that those that I'm close to have no qualms with it. Those that do, they don't really see your friendship as something they value if they can't take the 3 seconds to hit the follow button. Fair weather friends, after all. Social media platforms are dependent on FOMO to continue existing, for without engagement, they cease to exist. They derive value from network effects. If you and your friends care about one another, foster your local network, care for your garden, get off the platform, grab a cup of coffee, go play basketball or chess together. Finally, there's craft. I'm discussing craft last because of all the arguments, this is the one that is most important. Outside of social media made purely for friends and to communicate with one another, you likely joined a social media as an interest group or to pursue an ambition or an identity. You may be really into books or knitting or some other hobby, and you want to share your learnings with the world. You should be rewarded for that. One of the largest problems with current social media platforms is that they edit your voice to fit their goals. You may not notice it. It may be that you pick up a jargon phrase here or there, or that your real-life friends and family make a confused face when you say poggers or it's giving in public. Or perhaps it's that you develop anxiety of the post button, afraid of what people might say about you and your work, so you never post unless you think that it will get a lot of likes. The metrics of quality, as derived by social media, are firmly lodged in how important any conversation is at any moment. To quickly be replaced by the news of tomorrow, the latest upset, live stream fail drama, or consolation. I occasionally visit Substack, and I very much move in circles where people own Substacks, and a friend of mine asked why I prefer Ghost to Substack. The conversation is as follows. Him: do you have a Substack? And if not, why not? Me: Ghost is so much better. Less fans, but way more control, fun, long-term support. I also tend to believe that Substack makes people write like they own a Substack, instead of discovering their own voice. There's just no way that someone wouldn't look at bramadams.dev and be like, this is way more fun, albeit more complicated and confusing than Substack. I till my own land as much as I can, basically. Him: so true, re-Substack. The goal is to let creativity flourish, not to stifle it. To paraphrase on creativity from issue number 41, much more importantly, bramadams.dev has served as the perfect playground for my creative desires. In between the poetry, the short stories, the image dumps, the thought pieces, the shitposts, the zettles, the creative coding, the tutorials, the newsletters, and more, I've never felt more free as a creative than on my own site. Excuse my language here, but fuck websites that tell you that your creativity is constrained to 280 characters. Fuck websites that tell you that you can upload photos in only a certain dimension so it fits the rest of the site's CSS. Fuck websites that use their networks of likes and comments to change how you think, speak, and create. Fuck subsplits with the website owner because you happen to be renting a handle on their platform. Fuck the narrative that you can't grow an audience because TwitBookTube has hoovered up all of the curious minds on the internet and trapped them in their feeds to scroll forever. Fuck all that. A practical guide to resetting your presence online. Let's wrap up this philosophy with some actionable items. I've gone through these controlled burnings more than once, and here's how I've gone about it. Here's a primer on how to successfully reset your social media accounts. Number 1, a month to a week before you take any action at all, write down your reasoning for your reset and your relationship with social media. This is critical to your success as you will return to it later. Number 2, a week before your deletion, download all of your data from your social media. You'll want to revisit your work for memory's sake as years go on, so save it into a Dropbox or some kind of local drive, but ideally in the cloud so you don't lose it between computers. Number 3, come up with a list of people that you want to re-add or follow. If they're your friends, message them and mention that you're remaking your account. If you are simply following your favorite content creators, no worries, just re-follow them again. Number 4, do not tell everyone or make a big social stink about it. No one cares, and it makes you look needy. You are a person. Deleting your social media profile on Glubby Flippy, Instagram, TikTok, Substack, whatever will not make you less of a human. Number 5, do not fear. I've done this multiple times with no effect other than clarity of mind and freedom to post things that I normally wouldn't. It's great for experimenting, and you learn something new each time. Number 6, make a choice. Are you leaving social media for good, or are you staying? If you're staying, remake an account. As stated above, these platforms that run off network effects desperately want users, so it should take less than 5 minutes. Or, if you've been meaning to leave the platform for good, take this time to come up with a replacement hobby that you've been looking forward to but haven't done because of social media. Maybe you can go to that restaurant that you wanted to try, or learn to watch some really good movies, or become a bibliophile. The sky is the limit. Resetting your social media profile is a healthy practice in writing power imbalances between you and a platform. Words on the internet can live forever, but they are also gone in an instant. It's a paradox, but it is indeed the case, so we must live with it and ideally embrace it. In my mind, there is only one profile that has enough escape velocity to not get marred in the local maxima of social media profile saturation, but we'll discuss that next time. Thanks for watching.